Hello and welcome to episode 59 of FPL Apprentice. Still the only podcast and series that delves into the mind of one of the greatest FPL players to ever play the game. In their 8 seasons of playing, they've finished in the top 10k 6 times, in the top 5k 5 times, and are a former world number one. That is, of course, my co-host, Mr. Matthew Corbidge. Matt, how the devil are you, sir?
Yeah, very good, mate. Nice to get back in the rhythm of game week and a nice catching up. I know we've missed a few, so good to be back in the rhythm and decent game week for me. So yeah, I'm feeling
Yeah.
positive. You all good?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Coming quick and fast shortly. So I think we've got a week until the next one, but then Christmas and
Mm.
New Year always hits game after game after game. So look, hoping I can maintain my rank over the Christmas and New Year period, and I generally do better from January onwards. So if I can stay around the 200k mark until January, hopefully I'll get a pretty decent finish. Where you obviously we'll bring up where you are now, but you another green arrow spoilers. Happy with your progress?
It's slow and steady. I feel like I've had like 7 or 8 green arrows in a row, but only one of them is like really moved there. So I've like last 8 game weeks I've moved from about 3 million rank to just above a million overall rank. So it's progress. It's progress. I'd have liked to be in about 500k at this stage, but yeah,
You
the
got
green
five.
arrow, the green arrow is
3.5.
positive. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've had
3.5
like
is there's
I've had
not
a lot of
loads.
black captaincy blanks and whatnot during that period as well. So it's cool. I'm grinding.
Grinding. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it. It's like reminds me of Tony Hawk. But spoilers already in place. It's the only way I know grinding, pal. Um, both green arrows. You had a slightly better green arrow than me. I did take a 4 point hit, but yeah, crack on, mate. 60 points. Happy?
60 points. So yeah, mixed news there. Like obviously a decent green arrow. So like moved up 200k places. So up to 1.1 mil now. Yeah, I think probably best place to start is Fabianski because like we were both texting each other whilst that game was on. I think I had a lag, so I think I was like a minute or two behind you, and you were like, "Oh my god, what a hit!" when Bournemouth scored, and then I saw him lining up for the free kick, and I was like, "Oh, great, that's the Fabianski kind of like called disappearing." And he was really good, right? So yeah, 4 points before that match, I would have happily taken it, but yeah, I think what was that? That was 90 minutes plus, wasn't it? That was an extra time that free kick. So
190.
I think
Yeah.
7 points lost for Fabianski there. So that was tough. That was tough. But yeah, also pretty positive. So the Arsenal double defense kind of came through really nicely. And I think, yeah, last couple of weeks they've been really solid at the back. They've been having like defensive stats akin to last year. So kind of really happy that I'm set up with the two there. So looking good. Cole Will, I brought in Cole Will this game week, sorry, for Lewis. So happy that I made that call given Lewis didn't play. However, like the other option I was considering, Lewis Hall, he did Hall, right? He got 15
Yeah.
points, like two assists, one of them somewhat questionable, but
Very questionable.
I guess in hindsight, like Robinson would have been another option to kind of consider. I think I looked at the fixtures and I was thinking, yeah, Cole's got the best long term run, so I can play him every game week, but he's never going to do anything. I'm always like crying out for a clean sheet from Chelsea, and they haven't been keeping too many this year, right?
Yeah.
So I think probably a bit of an oversight for me that hey, the slight upside of the attacking potential that Robinson's got quite a big kind of upside from attacking point of view, but yeah, Hall as well. I probably should have gone there. So that was a mistake. I'm not going to dwell on it. I was favouring Colwell the whole time, but yeah, yeah, kind of like what could have been with Hall then, and then yeah, kind of happy I kept it. And Boom, I know you got rid of him, but yeah, he got his 9 points. Saka blanked again. Salah got his 5 points. I was kind of really excited for this game week when he was blanking, but yeah, of course Palmer blanked. He was okay, but he did enough to get a bonus point despite no attacking returns, right? But that was tough. I think after Saturday, I was rubbing my
Yeah.
hands in that hey, this is going to be a huge green arrow. But yeah, captaincy blanked there. Solanke problems with all my strikers, really. I think Solanke, to get one assist and not much involvement beyond that in a 5-0 win is a bit concerning, given he's the centre forward for Spurs. But he's not a major problem given his price point. But like, yeah, that's not great. João Pedro, he was streaky, right? He's a good player, but like,
Yeah.
I was watching that match and he was incredibly deep, right? So he's not playing as that focal point. Again, price point and fixtures mean he's fine, but like, yeah, you don't want him to be playing as like the left midfield, the left back, which he was at times. And then
the left back moment.
it was crazy. I was watching it. It was like, you need to be the focal point of that team when you're looking for a goal. But he was like super deep. And then Cunha obviously got a return, but it's probably going to get like quite a lengthy ban and suspension now, given what he was doing after the final kind of whistle. Yeah. I think the only question is like whether he's banned in time for this weekend or not, but he's going to get banned for sure. But yeah, all in all, pretty solid, but a few like what ifs, with Fabianski, Hall over Colwill, and then like that disappointment with Palmer. But yeah, happy overall.
Well, I've got some potential news on Cunha, hot off the press.
Oh.
So FPL Mark from Scout posted about Cunha's availability in Gameweek 17. So Kudus had until the 26th of October to respond to an FA charge. I think Cunha's got until Thursday this week, if I'm not mistaken, which is the 19th, and the game then is on the 21st. So Kudus had until the 24th of October. His punishment came on the 6th of November. Gibbs White had until the 27th of September and received his penalty for the 18th of October. And Bentancur had until the 19th of September and received his ban on the 18th of November. So it seems to be delays. Now, if you're a new Wolves boss out of interest and you come in, you've got to play Cunha, right? Despite what happened after
the best
time.
player.
Yeah. But so I think he'll probably play this week from the looks of the previous FA charges. And then from game week 18, his fixtures go terribly anyway, so it'd be a nice time to get off him.
No, for sure. They're playing the Sunday, aren't they, Wolves? So it's like, I hope there's not any ambiguity or doubts or whatnot. It's just like, is there going to be an announcement of the ban on the Saturday post deadline? That would be pretty annoying, but we shall see.
You'll get Rodgers off your bench anyway. I imagine it's Rodgers you've benched in, and City are terrible, so he'll probably get a hat trick. My team, sorry about that. 59 points -4, so 55 was my net, which was enough to scrape a green arrow. So I went from 206,000 into the top 200k. That's 194 overall. Just hit the 1,000-point mark, which is nice to see.
Nice, mate. Congrats. What were your moves again, given you did a -4?
So I took a -4 and got rid of Edison, who I would have started. I'd have put him in net if I had him.
Yeah.
So I'd have got 1 point for him. I sold Mbumo, who got 9, and I sold Wissa, who got 2. So in total, it was 16 points I'd have got if it had done nothing. My returns were for Isaac 11, Saka 3, and Sanchez 3. So I got 17 back. So I've made 1 point on the transfers, which isn't great. But I think long term, Saka and Isaac are better options than Mbumo and Wissa.
Yeah, I mean, like,
interesting.
Touch and go, right? That's close. Net 1 up. That up until 89th minute of the Manchester derby, you're pretty like, why did I do that?
Hell, I was made up even with the Chelsea game because, like you, my keeper decided to concede in the 90th minute. And annoyingly for me, it was Mbumo who got the goal. Sanchez was on for 8 points. But yeah, the player I sold decided to break my heart. So I'd have been up 5 and 7. I think I'd have been 13 points better off without that goal. So that was a real swing, unfortunately, for me in the 90th minute.
Mbumo losing 3 bonus points, getting dropped down to 2 like in the last hours before the game got locked in. That helps you out. Otherwise, it would be a neutral moment. So you played a risk. It's just about come off so far.
Yeah, I know. When I was prepping for this yesterday, I was doing a bit of work for it, I was like, oh, I broke exactly even on my transfers, and that was before Mbeumo got 1 point taken off him. It's like, yes, now I'm in the positive. So that got me a green arrow because I was basically level with my effective owner. What's the score called? My safety. I was pretty much level with my safety score 155. So it was that point that got me over the line. Plus the Palmer. Palmer didn't have any bonus points until yesterday either, so that helped.
Yeah,
But yeah, not too bad. I think the only players to kind of touch on that you don't have Aina in defence, but conceded, didn't really do much. Not
yeah,
expecting loads of points from him. Sanchez, I've touched on already, lost his clean sheet in the 90th minute, frustratingly. But then Isaac saved the week really with those transfers, goal and an assist for him and a 4-0 win. Probably had another chance to get a goal, was 1-on-1
yeah,
and missed, not like Isaac. But yeah, quite happy to hold on to him. Shane Jackson also scored and got 9 because he was the other one I was toying with, and it would have saved me a hit. But I think Isaac looks solid. I'm quite happy with to hold him. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, mate. That's basically my team. The only similar to you, ended up going for Palmer captain. Be interested to know why you went for him. I ended up going for him because I looked at the data for expected goals conceded
Mm.
for both Brentford away and Fulham away, and Brentford's was double that of Fulham's. So that's why I ended
Yeah,
up going for Palmer.
same for me, mate. It was just the difference in like team defensive stats. And I was flip flopping a bit because Fulham were without um, Bassi and Anderson, right? They were without their two like first choice centre backs. However, that's been the case for a couple of game weeks, and they've still been solid. So I was like, yeah, kind of like Brentford are a lot worse defensively than Liverpool. So yeah, not much difference in it in the end. But yeah, that was the logic.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's it.
congratulations
Good
for
points.
the green and I think yeah the first sub 200k
The
game
season.
direct.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, it continues. I'm not liking the look of my team. I don't mind it, but it's just everybody this week's playing at home. And unsurprisingly, it means that next week
Mhm.
everybody's playing away. So
Yeah,
we'll come on to that in a second. But as we always do, little update with our league table where everybody's at. Thomas Jones was the leader last week with Jota the Slotter. He's dropped down to sixth, just 47 points this game week. Whereas a new leader, I don't think Andy's actually been top
no,
with Claret Crew. 67 points for the game week, taking him to 1037. That means Andy, world rank, leading our table, is 38,800 roughly in the world.
yeah.
But that shows you, mate. We're not. I mean, I'm only 30. I say only 36 is quite a lot of points. That top 10k is not a million miles away from me. Hopefully,
No, you'll get you're
this
looking good. I reckon you'll be on there in a couple of game weeks. Are you ahead of Becky yet? Or
I am ahead of Becky. I
nice.
am.
Well done.
Yeah, just by 2 points. Come on, that's what
Yeah.
matters.
I'm I'm
Now the
miles off.
downside.
I'm miles off. So I think it's up to you to like help us restore any respectability.
I'll keep battling. I'll keep battling. But the 78 in the league, I'm 17th. You're in the top half. You've broke top 50. You're
Yeah.
48th now. What's interesting is I might be 17th, but I'm not the top David Saunders in the division. There's a David Saunders, and he's listened to us for a little while. The team is called Sorry Nick Jackson, and he is 13th in the division. Just noticed. I was like, oh, I'm a bit higher than I thought.
You
No,
got to be
that's sorry,
careful.
David
I
Saunders.
think there's against the rules, right, to have multiple teams. I know. I
Oh,
know.
well, maybe maybe that's you're on to me. You've blocked what I've been doing.
Show
Yeah,
I'll just add the disclaimer for the very obvious joke. That was a joke. Just like
yeah, I can swear it's not me. And I can't think what David's Twitter name is, but he's been listening quite since the off. But yeah, he is not me, but he's beating me, unfortunately. But yeah, hopefully I'll get in. But well done, Andy. Back to the top. If you do want to join the league, it's T27 ZGC. It's Tango 27 Zulu Golf Charlie. The winner will get something. And say it every week. We haven't figured it out yet. We probably won't figure it out until about game week 30, but we will figure it out. And we'll let you know. On to fixtures, mate. We didn't cover this off last week. Just thought it would be worth bringing back up onto the agenda. A little bit of a fixture swing for some teams. So we're starting with the defence options. And you brought Colwell in for a reason, and then Chelsea are top of the list. Is he playing left? Is he playing left back or centre back? Colwell at the minute. So he's centre back.
Centre back, I think. Cucurella's playing left back, isn't he?
No, not next game after his red card. But you might
Um,
get him in.
yeah, I mean, the thing with Colwell is, well, he was on for bonus as well. So if they keep a clean sheet, he does get a lot of possession. So like he might get a 7-8 pointer, but he don't really have any attacking threat at all. So I think if I was looking at Colwell and looking Fulham next to that kind of run, the next four, the next, yeah, in its entirety, I think, yeah, Fulham there, I'd be like, given their defensive stats and Robinson's attacking potential, I'd be like looking at Robinson over Colwell for sure. I think I overlooked that a little bit. I was looking at a few bad games like, yeah, Chelsea and Liverpool, essentially. That's what I was lining up and said, oh, that's not good. But actually, in and around it, there's some great fixtures. So made a bit of a cock up there. But yeah, I think Colwell, I think Robinson, I think what else we got? Yeah, Hall still. Those are very playable fixtures, right? I think they're all looking nice options there.
That's handy because we will come on to cheap defenders, and pretty much everybody you've named is on the list of who we're going to compare. Also, need to touch on the attack. Fulham are top of that, so clearly Fulham's. I've got a really nice run of fixtures, second on the defence, top on the attack. Now, interestingly, obviously Jimenez has been starting pretty much every game since about game week 5. Muniz came off the bench against Liverpool and got the goal. Jimenez had an expected goal involvement data of 0.00 in that game. Do you think it's where if you look in the market for a striker, do you think Jimenez is still worth a punt?
I think given the fixtures and the price point, yeah. But like, be prepared for Muniz that you can eat into his minutes and maybe have an on start. So, yeah. I mean, looking at this, I'm kicking myself. I got rid of Fernandez.
Yeah, second.
Look at United fixtures. They look nice, actually. There's goals in those games for sure, right? Yeah, I think I moved 4 game weeks ago from Fernandez to Saka. Fernandez has outscored him probably about 20 points within that period. Yes, he's got some fortune with penalties and stuff, but that's part of the game. So United they've had like a 3-game week very tough run, I think, but they've done well in terms of returns. But like, yeah, that's looking nice for Bruno owners, and some people maybe be considering Ahmad now as well, given
absolutely
Rashford looks like he's leaving potentially. So I don't know whether Garnacho is in favour or whatnot. Obviously rotation risk, but yeah, potentially interesting attacking rotation option. Isak feels like a bit of a no-brainer, probably the prime striker you want at this moment. And yeah, City, I mean, Haaland becomes interesting 18, 19 onwards. However, it's just that inaccessibility of that price point, right? It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
He's dropped, if it helps. He's now only 14.9 million. So cheap.
Oh, yeah.
I've not felt the pain of Bruno yet because I sold Bruno for Salah, and obviously Salah hauls pretty much every game week. So I've not felt the pain, but it is a kick every time Man United get a penalty. And I think he scored 2 penalties in the last 3 games.
No, exactly. It's purely penalties, which is a bit random and a bit you can't really predict that. So, but yeah, like he's looking good for people who have held for whatever reason.
Yeah. Do you think there's anything in Jota's return? Obviously, came back with Liverpool, got a goal off the bench. Usually starts as the number 9 when he's fit and firing.
I think it's like, is he fit? And it's the worst time of year. And I think Liverpool is Salah or no one really from an attacking point of view. I mean, some interesting teams here just linked to cheap strikers, right? Because I think a lot of people will have Cunha or just be considering their striker options. So yeah, kind of like Jimenez is there for those that don't own Isak. He's there. I won't be looking at Mateta, but Wood probably comes back in, right? If he continues his kind of somewhat lucky run earlier, like that's a decent run. I'm not eyeing up Southampton, despite them just
No.
about squeezing onto the fixture
Archer.
ticker.
Yeah, get Archer in, maybe. Blast from the past. But yeah, no, I think Chris Wood at that price point seems solid enough.
Hmm.
I think the other one that means to be maybe is hitting a bit of form, or has been Wissa, but I think they're still at the bottom of the fixture ticker, if I'm not mistaken. Brentford
Yeah.
are right there at the bottom, so doesn't feel right to bring him back. But yeah, I think Jimenez or, as you say, Wood could be the shout. I don't trust Mateta. I know last season he absolutely smashed it, but just not doing it this season. So I'll probably dodge
No,
him. Although he
Palace.
did get you a win in Matt versus Dave not too long
Yeah,
ago.
I think Palace full stop. Obviously, that Brighton performance aside, they haven't been amazing, and there seems to be a lot of weird rotations in their
Yeah.
attackers, right? Well,
Oh,
you think it would just be Mateta, Eze, and Sarr, right? But they're playing
yeah.
Nketiah like loads as well. Like for some reason, he was a
He
dreadful
can't
player.
score.
Yeah, he's a
Can't
dreadful player.
score, that guy. Yeah, just not happening for him. The one-on-one he had at the weekend, and he try and lob the keeper and hit it wide?
Yeah.
He did all right for Arsenal when he burst onto the scene, but he's just doing nothing for Palace.
Sarr is a consideration, I think, as a cheap player. I know it's recency bias, right? But he's been getting minutes now. He's got a bit of FPL pedigree, like when he was at Watford, right? I think, yeah, interesting option to versus Eze.
Yeah, get it. And the next screen. So we're looking at attacking teams or attacking fixtures here, should I say? The screen that I want to bring up to touch on looks a bit complicated. I promise you it's not, Matt, and I'll explain it. This is expected goals per team since the 1st of November. So it's 7 game weeks, apart from Everton and Liverpool, who have only played 6 times, which is why I've underlined their score. So
Yep.
you need to take that into account. But you've got the team on the left side of the table. You've then got expected goal data, and then in brackets how many goals they've actually scored, and then the
Hmm.
difference.
Cool.
And if you look down that expected goal piece, the 3 in green are the 3 that have got the highest expected goals, and the 3 in red are the least. And then same with the difference: 3 in green,
I
the
like
biggest
it.
variance, and then
This
the
is
red is the
this is
most
some good
underperformers.
this is some good data analysis. Like you've got to send the thanks to our intern. They've done a good job here. Like, no,
I'll
mate.
thank him. I'll thank him when I see him
No,
when I'm
thank
brushing
you.
my teeth later. But the Fulham one, right? So the top of the fixture in terms of the attack. But if you, I mean, they are third to bottom, and I think again the caveats: Everton might be ahead of them if they'd played the same amount of games as them. But their expected goal data 8.08, so they are the third lowest in terms of expected goals. But they are the biggest overperformers within the net last 7 game weeks as well.
Yeah,
So that, for
I
me,
think
tells me they're creating poor chances.
no for sure, and I think at a team level, I think 7 game weeks is enough to look at the XG rather than the difference, right? I think that's enough to kind of average itself out, particularly at a team level. I think it's a bit more random for individual players. So the top teams for the last 7 game weeks in terms of XG, because it's quite. I thought we were going to have some interesting insights here. Bournemouth are top 18.75. Now we knew they were good, but that's quite a surprise, right? They're underperforming in terms of actual goals, but in terms of the stats, they've been the best attack. Then it's Chelsea, which again I think is quite surprising for me, 18.22, and they're like pretty much completely equal with their XG. They've scored 18 goals. Their XG was 18. And then there's a big drop then to Spurs with 16 expected kind of goals. They're slightly outperforming that. So yeah, kind of interesting names. No Man City, no Liverpool. Liverpool probably after they play Everton will squeeze in ahead of Spurs. Right, they're at 15.71 now. So you'd imagine they'd get 1 to 2 XG on that, right? So they'd probably start in kind of third. But yeah, it's like Man City nowhere to be seen. Arsenal, not as high up as you may have expected. I think this is interesting. Like Manchester United, they're not bad, like 13.28. So I think, this is kind of, as our Palace are all right as well. So I think this is interesting. And then the lowest XGs at team level last 7 game weeks, Everton, 6.64. Like they probably increase a little bit, but it'll still probably be less than 1 XG a game. That's bad. Southampton, unsurprising, 7.38. But yeah, Fulham probably stand out as well, given good solid team this year. So I think, they got 8. XG over the last 7 game weeks. So I think that's enough there to think about. Do you really want a Fulham attacker? However, I would caveat Fulham had a tougher run recently, so I think so these 7 game weeks probably coincide with some pretty tricky fixtures. I mean, I'm looking at anyone else if they're particularly interesting. Wolves are really bad, right?
Yeah, and I
They've
mean,
been
I think surely
overperforming,
now
but
that they've
we've
lost,
seen that as
yeah,
Cunha owners. Like he's been lucky. To be fair,
yeah, and, if they're going to lose him and they've lost Ain't Nori because he's had a red card, and
yeah.
Cunha's going to get a ban. We know it. So that you've got to think that those expected goal data's going to get worse, if anything.
No, agree. Interesting table. I think what prompted us was just thinking, like what are Bournemouth doing, and what's someone like a dominant team like what are Arsenal doing? So Arsenal are not as bad as I thought they were going to be, right? Because like they've been underperforming. 15 SG is not bad. So that's top 4 or 5 in the league last 7 games, despite them looking not as good. But yeah, Bournemouth and Chelsea really stand out. Surprised at that.
Yeah. I'd say Bournemouth at the top of the list.
Hmm.
Absolutely crazy. And they are not on the list, unfortunately. But as a
I mean,
Semenyo owner, I'm not.
there's probably a bit of that influencing, like who's had good fixtures that influence it. But I'd say Bournemouth's fixtures have been mixed recently. They haven't been it hasn't been a wonderful run. Good and bad fixtures recently. Not interesting this.
Yeah. And it's Spurs up in third, maybe fourth if Liverpool have played Everton fair
Mhm.
enough, but still top four ahead of Arsenal, who are meant to be going for the league title. So I
Mm.
mean, I know a lot of people were selling the likes of Son and selling Solanke. I'm assuming they have a hold
Yeah, for sure.
based on
I think
this.
the attackers are a whole, definitely.
Yeah. It's and then Arsenal. Yeah, I think Arsenal were better than I was thinking. I got caught up in the notion that Everton against Everton they were terrible. I didn't look at the expected data, but it looks as though they probably should have won that game 2-0. You get the whole thing. They are set piece merchants. This tells me not to panic about Saka and
No,
trust
true,
them.
true. Agree.
So yeah, time will tell. But on to the cheap defenders, as we said before, we would touch on a lot of options here. And the big
Yeah.
standout, Rico Lewis on the list, and that's because he's still in a fair few squads. Obviously, you sold him pretty recently, if I'm not mistaken. But what I've tried to do here for you, Matt, is look at the teams that are at the top of the defence ticker. So yeah, you've your Fulham, your City, your Chelsea, and your Newcastle were all up there. And then these are the picks for those teams under 5 million. So I think a lot of people are going to have to sell Nori, given his red card as an example. So
Yeah.
these are real options for people in that price point. You've already touched on Robinson, and he looks like the standout to me out of the four.
Yeah, agree. Agree. I'm kicking myself now. That I was just like, you don't want to bring a player for a tough game on paper, right? So Fulham had Liverpool, of course, right? So I think it was the price point. I was a little bit. I moved from Lewis to Cole. Cole was 4.5 there. Roberts was 4.8 at the time, right? So it was that mental thing of, hey, I want to free up some money. But yeah, that first Liverpool fixture that's blindsided me a bit to kind of Robinson. But like, yeah, both in terms of expected points, clean sheets coming up, goal involvement. Yeah, I think he's the standout price point aside. Then I would. Hall has got
I just say
Hall.
before you say, mate, I think you're being harsh on yourself here with Robinson. Now, you would have looked at Robinson,
No,
and
no,
in his next
I wasn't
three,
looking at the medium term. Is what I'm saying. It was like the Liverpool and
yeah,
Chelsea game in
away at
in the
Liverpool
first
and
3
away at
weeks.
Chelsea in the next three.
Yeah,
Like you're
no,
not bringing him in with that. With
no, for
that, you
sure,
wouldn't think.
for sure. Hall obviously has better attacking potential than someone like Colwell, but like I can't see clean sheets there. Ipswich away is tough. Villa, Manchester United, and Spurs. I don't know. I reckon they'd be fortunate to get one there. So yeah, I stack rank it. Maybe Robinson, Hall, just about Hall and Colwell equal. Lewis, I know. I mean, it's mad that we're just kind of like dismissing Manchester City players, but I don't think you can go go there just based on how they're performing and also just the
Yeah,
lack of minute certainty. The other guys
yeah,
are just going to start every single game.
yeah. And it's interesting that Rico Lewis didn't see the pitch and Grealish played is the defensive midfielder in a recent Man City game. That tells you the clearly Pep is starting to really
That wasn't
change
this
things
game
up,
week, was
and
it? Because he
unfortunately
was
Lewis
banned,
has
wasn't
missed.
he? That wasn't this one. This week he was banned, but I think it was another game, wasn't it?
Oh, was that another game? Was it Champions League? Maybe
I
it's
don't,
Champions
I'm
League.
giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Maybe, yeah. No, you do right too. I appreciate that. Keep me covered. Um, but yeah, so looking at the fixtures, those next four, it doesn't shock me that Robinson's top of expected points. Southampton,
Yeah.
Bournemouth, and Ipswich are home in the next four. Everybody else
Mm.
plays away 3 times or twice, but
Yeah.
Colwell's second. The only other ones, mate, that are worth touching on. So I've got this screen coming up.
Uh-huh.
I would point out actually on this that Robinson's also top of the expected goal involvement over the last 6 game weeks amongst these defenders as well. I'm a big Robinson fan, mate. He's fourth for amongst all defenders at any price point for expected points over the next 6 game weeks. Looking at anybody else under 5 million, you've then got Mitchell. I don't know whether you'd look at Mitchell, mate. His fixtures: Arsenal, Bournemouth, Southampton, Chelsea in the next four. You then got Gusto, who just goes off the list, but Colwell's ahead of him anyway, same games, obviously. And then Aina's on there. Aina's fit for the sub
Yeah.
£5 million.
Mitchell less so for me. Yeah, Aina, I think is obviously you got him in your squad. I think is a good rotation option. Spot on.
Yeah, he's got Brentford away, Tottenham at home, Everton away, Wolves away.
Yeah, some okay games there.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So if you're ranking them, just to clarify, you're Robinson 1, Colwill, Hall. Don't touch Lewis.
Yeah.
Aina over Lewis.
I would say so. I think Minute's a king at this time of the season, right?
Yeah. And he's a guaranteed starter, which I didn't know at the beginning of the season. I think it was you and Mark. What's it, Mark, from FPL Black Box that convinced me he was the pick, and I thank you
Never heard of
for it.
him.
He's done me well. He's done me well since game week 1. As we always do, we're touching on captain picks and who the best option is there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're both on Salah going forward, and FPL fix, fantasy football fix even. Agree. From expected points, 6.1 in his game away at Tottenham, and Tottenham's defence at home, by the way, this season. So I've split it rather than just across all games. So at home, they're expected to concede 1.47 per 90.
Yeah, I
But I
think
think Liverpool
that's the sort of game
could do.
that works right into Liverpool and Salah's favour, isn't it? Like I think, yeah, that's a game where Liverpool could score loads. So,
Yeah, Tottenham are a weird team though, right? Because Tottenham like to play against teams that press high, and Liverpool do. So, they've just beat City 4-0. They seem to get results against the teams near the top of the league and lose against the lower league. That
if
said,
you get
they've just beat
results, if
Southampton
it's
5-0.
4-2, if it's a 4-2 and Salah like scores 2 from an FPL point of
You'll
view, you're
take it.
happy, right? Obviously, you as a Liverpool fan
Well,
wouldn't be, but like, yeah, I think it'd be a high scoring game, right? Everything points towards that. So, yeah,
yeah,
they're not going to
that
sit
makes
deep.
sense.
Yeah, Everton could just go into that mode of grinding result out,
Like
right?
they did against Arsenal at the weekend.
Yeah, a bit fortunate, right? But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Haaland there as well. Although Haaland, Villa are home. Expected goal conceded per 90 of 0.79. That is solid defence at
Yeah,
home.
I'm surprised at that. I had in my mind relatively leaky. So yeah.
Yeah, very good. So even if I had Haaland, I wouldn't be captaining him. I'd be picking
No.
Salah. And then I think for the first time, I might be wrong here, Iwobi and Vardy make appearances in the top 5 for expected points for the game week, likely because of their fixtures. Iwobi are home to Southampton, Vardy are home to Wolves. If you had either, would you go there, or is it Salah?
I won't be like, yeah, that's reassuring given one of my picks for differentials, but
Yeah.
you're not captain in that, are you?
No,
No.
absolutely not. Are you shocked Saka's not on this because he's away at Palace?
No, I reckon, but yeah, maybe shove him in as fourth best option, when you, but
Yeah. And he's not going ahead of Salah.
mm,
If you haven't got Salah, which I appreciate 62% of the game do, so there won't be many listening probably that don't. But if you haven't got Salah and you've got Saka and Palmer, who are you going?
Yeah, Palmer. Also trying
Palmer.
to get a hit to get Salah in, probably.
Yeah, good call. Use all your transfers you need to get Salah. Yeah, good. I'm glad I've got him. But you've just touched on it. Matt versus Dave. Fortunately for me, I managed to get a win, so
Nice.
it didn't go to 8-4. I've managed to pull it back to 7-5. Evan Nielsen got 2. Harvey Barnes, unfortunately for you, didn't start, but then came
No.
on to get a point. Strand Larson for me missed quite a decent opportunity, unfortunately. Got 2
Yeah.
points, but my main man, Cody Gakpo. I've been tempted. I've been toying with the Liverpool players throughout this, and finally one of them I got at the right time. He got a goal and 3 bonus points, giving him 9 and me a total of 11. So that takes the score to
Yeah.
7-5 to you. So you're still leading by 2. Good news for you is you also get to pick first.
No, good stuff. And yeah, good picks last week. I think, yeah, well deserved win there. Harvey Barnes, I don't know what I was thinking. Picked the wrong Newcastle winger, I guess.
You think he did well the week before though, didn't he?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so I can understand.
They've been rotating. Yeah, I think he started the previous 3, and then Murphy started this one. But yeah, that was a panic
He
selection.
scored
But yeah,
twice.
this week, yeah, exactly. This week, yeah, we spoke about him. Yeah, he was on the previous page. Iwobi, I think. I think he's got the most points for a Fulham player, the best underlying attacking stats. He's playing Southampton at home. So yeah, I'm gonna go Iwobi.
Wooby, and who you telling people to captain? So yeah, fair play for you
Iwobi, yeah,
to
triple.
to back in triple captain on a Wooby. You heard it here first. Former world number 1, triple captain on a Wooby, everybody. Okay, a Wooby for you. I'm not happy with any of my picks, but my first pick is Hoyland. Just feel like United could get a bounce from that win against City. They're at home to Bournemouth, who do like to concede. And if I
Yeah.
take Europe into account, Hoyland has scored 3 in his last 4. So I think he'll be the starting striker. We'll see how he gets on. 1.7% owned. So yeah, that'd be my first pick.
Yeah, I looked at him. It's just his underlying stats are so bad. Like,
I know.
it's
It's purely punt work.
so bad. But I think I will go. Yeah, I'll borrow an idea from you. I think I'll go Gakpo
Yeah.
against Spurs.
Way of
Hopefully,
Tottenham.
he starts and gets 60, 70 minutes. I'm pretty sure he will start. Given Nunes is kind of out of form, really. I think Gakpo is in that run now, starting, and Jota has just returned, right? So I'd expect 60 minutes, sorry, from Gakpo.
So it'd be interesting to see who Liverpool play in the League Cup tomorrow. But yeah, I think Gakpo's now in there. I don't think they'll rush Jota back. So until that happens, and maybe Diaz plays left and Jota through the middle, I see Gakpo as a start at 11. So I like the pick. I like the pick. He did me the work last. As a Liverpool fan, I hope you beat me and he gets you all your points. That's what I'm going to say. My second pick, I'm looking at Newcastle away at Ipswich. As much as Ipswich are getting results, they're conceding.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go for a midfielder, and I'm going to go for a safe one, mate. I was looking at Barnes. I could have went for Jacob Murphy, but I'm going to go for a guaranteed starter who has been popping in with returns. I'm going to go for Bruno Guimaraes, 1.7% owned as well. He's had 3 returns in his last 3.
Yeah,
So
like
yeah,
the
I'm
pick.
going to punt
Like the pick.
Bruno. It's interesting. Yeah, well, Wobie and Gakpo versus Hoyland even, and Bruno Guimaraes. Interesting. Interesting. Some new names. I don't think either of us have had Iwobi, Hoyland, or Bruno Guimaraes this season. So nice to get some new names in there.
Absolutely. Goodbye, Evan Nilsson, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Larson.
And Strand Larson. It's always been the same. I'd say there are Bernardo Silvas of the season. But yeah, I would say best of luck, but I need a 7-6. So let's let's go Bruno Guimaraes. Let's go. On to the team reveals, and you to start, my friend.
Yeah, so plan is to start Flecken with Fabianski. Flecken at home to Forest versus Fabianski home to Brighton. Then yeah, defense Saliba and Gabriel obviously playing theirs, and like Colwell as well, Everton away. So I'm kind of happy with that back three. I think I will be for most weeks. So that was one of the benefits of bringing in Colwell. Don't have to worry about that. That defense is really set and forget now. In midfield, it's Palmer and Bumo, Salah, captain away to Spurs, and Saka. And then up front, it's Cunha, João Pedro, and Solanke. So yeah, what stands out there is only three players at home, Fleck and Mbumo against Forest, and then Solanke at Liverpool. But yeah, I think it looks okay. Yeah, kind of. I got 2 free transfers going into this game week. So like, if it depends on Cunha's ban. If he's banned before the weekend, I'll move him. Right. And I think it's a good time to move him. Like you said, he's not a long-term hold anyway because like his fixtures turn, right? So I'll keep him for one game week and then look at him the next week. But if he is banned, I'd probably look to move him. And I've got a few options, right? I could do the boring Cunha to Wood might not be a bad option actually against Brentford, yeah, or kind of Jimenez, right? I think those are the guys for like doing the move in one go. And it's nice to get Jimenez against Southampton, right? What a great fixture to bring him in. Or I could do something a little bit if I'm looking at my team of where there's a player I would really want. Like I think Isak stands out, right? So I could move Cunha to Isak if I shuffle things around elsewhere, right? So I could make that risky move of Mbumo to someone like Enzo Fernandez or Ahmad, right? Or a Clivert, maybe, right? And then I'd rotate that player and Rogers as a fifth attacker. I could do that. I mean, it's not without risk, right? Because Mbumo, he can score against anyone, right? And he's got all that kind of pedigree and like penalties and kind of whatnot, and like obviously nearly burned you this week when you got rid of him. Like he got kind of a goal and bonus. When he does get a return, he does tend to get bonus as well. Forest is an okay fixture at home as well, so it's not like he's got the worst fixture in the world. I mean, the upside there is like, yeah, Brentford's fixtures aren't great, but I think Mbumo is just like a glue player that you could stick, right? So yeah, there's a decision to be made there, whether it's like, let's say Cunha's injured, do I just go Will Jimenez, or do I do a bit of a more interesting move? I kind of like the Enzo Fernandez Isak move because I think Fernandez he's now played the last 4 or 5, and the underlying stats have been pretty good, playing as a 10, right? And that's quite a settled team, giving Chelsea on a really nice run. So I think models and stuff like that will be underplaying him. So I kind of like the upside there, but it does shift the structure of my team to something a little bit less flexible. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are. Like, would you be going? Let's say Jimenez comes in just because of that nice Southampton game. Like, would you go Jimenez? And they got the nice run full of attacking fixtures, isn't they, as well? Would you go, Raul Jimenez, or would you go Isak and Enzo?
I don't think I could bring myself to sell Mbumo with this fixture.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I just think that's a. I mean, when I sold him, he was away at Chelsea, right? Second in the league.
Yeah.
So it
You
was a
love Forest
long-term
defence, though.
sell. I do love a Forest defence, but they're not. Ian is not keeping that many clean sheets for me. He's done me all right, don't get me wrong, but it's mainly been at home I've been trusting him. I just couldn't sell him for that fixture. Last time they were away, granted it was Man City, but Man City aren't playing well. They scored 3 against them. I just couldn't do it. And Brentford are good at home. They're terrible away, but they're good at home.
No, for sure. They score a lot. Not so good defensively, but they do score a lot of goals, like you said. I'm hoping it sorts itself out for me and like Cunha's not banned this weekend. That would be the easiest kind of option. If it, I don't know. I'm lacking Isak, and like he's a dangerous player, and like his underlying stats have been and returns have been great. Jimenez, the Fulham got that nice run, and like Southampton are just there as that easy fixture. So maybe it makes more sense there and have a free transfer. I think it's tough. I hope Cunha's not banned selfishly, and then I don't have to make that decision. But yeah, it's a close one for me.
Yeah, if he does get banned, I take it you've got no interest in just benching him and playing Rogers.
No, not like when like all these options are interesting, right? Isak is the like main player I don't own that I would like at this stage. Wood and Jimenez, they have nice little runs.
Yeah.
as well. So yeah,
Interesting. Yeah, I couldn't do Mbumo, mate. Just couldn't do it. So I'd probably be looking at you either. Yeah, from what FPL Scout said, from the sounds of it, you'll be fine, and Cunha will play and get banned at a future date. So you should be okay to roll. Then that'd be nice because then you, for the second time this season, I think you'd then have 3 free transfers to do some real changes with.
Man, spot on. And then there's some fixture swings in the 18 as well, right? So I could be looking at getting Alexander Arnold in for somehow. So yeah, then it becomes a little bit more interesting for sure. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Depending on that ban.
Yeah, nice. And potential to get what's his name back? Haaland, maybe. 3 free transfers. And not different, much difference. So still playing for me the Arsenal centre backs. They're going to just basically be set and hold, and then I'll change around 3 defenders. Not overly happy having Van der Berg because I do think Brentford concede a lot. Nor do I like Aina away at Brentford, nor do I like Mikolenko at home to Chelsea, and Mikolenko's long-term fixture is poor. So
That's
I'm
okay. He's a 4.2 million defender though, right?
Yeah, but I can with that 0.5 million I've got in the bank, I can move him. What I really like is option number 3. So I'm the same as you. I've got Cunha. If he gets banned, they're gonna have to do something with him. There was talk of Semenyo being injured, who I've got starting in the midfield alongside Salah, Saka, and Palmer. But after reading up just before we came on, it looks as though Semenyo was taken off as a precaution and should be fine. So I shouldn't be forced into a move there. The Cunha one potentially. And Cunha could become Wood, could become Vardy, could become Jimenez.
Yeah.
What I really like, and I know you're trying to put me off it, and I'm interested in your thoughts as to why, is I want to sell Mikolenko to Robinson. I want to get the Fulham upside for those 3 home fixtures we spoke about before. He just got 2 assists at Anfield, so I think there's more attacking returns for him to come and potential clean sheets. And I just think he's a better option than Van der Berg and Mikolenko long term. And I can just afford it and bang on the money to move Mikolenko to Robinson.
I'll just be looking over the next couple of game weeks because like you do have a nice structure now, like 2 premium defenders and then 3 cheap ones, and then 1 that plays for a decent team, right, in Forest, right? So we're looking at like the next couple of. Don't put too much emphasis on this week alone, right? Obviously, you start Robinson. So how much benefit is Robinson going to give you over Aina, for example, over the next 5, 6? Is it like he's clear cut and above him? Or whoever's the best out of the 3 defenders, right? Like kind of like this week, yes. How much extra points do you reckon he's going to get? Okay, maybe 1 or 2. Then next week, who's Aina got?
So I would start. I believe I'm just going to double check what I wrote down, but I believe I'd start. Well, Aina's got Tottenham at home next week,
Okay, cool.
which isn't great, but the Fulham fixture's not great either, if I'm honest. So the Fulham game, you've then got Robinson would be away at Chelsea, so not ideal. And then the week after that, Aina is the 2 following. He's got Everton and Wolves, and that's when I'd be playing Robinson, to be fair, because he's at home to Southampton and Bournemouth. So there's the question for you, mate. Aina away at Everton and Wolves, or Robinson at home to Southampton and Bournemouth.
No, the Bournemouth one. Bournemouth game ain't great, is it?
No. So you'd potentially be playing Aina regardless. So you're really thinking I'm getting Robinson in, and it's for 1 game week.
I'd play Robinson in those games. I think like if you got in Robinson, you'd play him every single game coming up, right? So what you play him Southampton, you play him Chelsea away, play him Bournemouth, you play him Ipswich, you play him West Ham, you play him Leicester. It's a nice run for sure. But I think it's just looking, is that worth 4 points?
Watching the transfer. Yeah.
4 points over the best of the 3 that you've got.
Thoughts on it?
I think it's marginal. I think,
like.
if you're going to do it, you'd probably do it now, right? Because of the Fulham game. The Southampton game, sorry.
It'd definitely be this week. It'd be a classic. It'd be a classic. The the one time I could have played Van der Berg and I decided not to, and he kept a clean sheet. It'll happen again, won't it?
I won't be betting on that. Yeah, I think I can see. I think I can see the value. You know, I'm like, if it's not like a super obvious one, I wouldn't want to force it. But I think there's pretty enough there if you like that move.
So ignore that move. Is there anything you're looking at this team and thinking that you need, that is staring and blindly obvious that I should be thinking about?
Oh yeah, Cunha being banned, like obviously, but let's ignore that. Let's obviously if he's banned, you'll move him on. And I think it needs to be Cunha to Wood, Vardy, Jimenez out of your options. The option C, like Semenyo is not injured now anyway, but like even if so, like but yeah, you don't want to be forced to play Rodgers every week. It's nice that you got that Semenyo Rodgers rotation. So yeah, Cunha, move him to someone with one move. What else is there? That's looking solid. I think the Robinson move ain't bad, to be fair. It's just like when I look at like kind of managers that are consistently very, very good, like the defenders, they just set and forget it for so many weeks and don't mess around with transfers, right? So I think the question is the what if like happens next week and you could do that extra transfer. I don't know. But I think if you really like that move, I think it's there's enough logic there. I think looking at his like medium term fixtures, you play him every week, and he's probably better than the best of the rest each week by a little bit. So I think you can probably work back. So yeah, he's going to be worth 4 points over that period at least.
This is the problem because I'm banged on the money.
You don't need to do it. That's the thing. So then it's like, what if what happens thereafter and whatnot? If you had 2 free transfers, like come next week, you might want Trent.
Yeah.
I don't know. You squeeze him in, but you might want to. I don't know. That's gonna be quite tough, but
yeah, well, I get rid of an Arsenal boy, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit on it because I need to wait for the League Cup games to be finished anyway, just in case an injury happens. I've got a few players partaking in the League Cup still. I might end up getting priced out.
If you're cool not having transfers back, it depends how much value you put on that reduction of risk that could happen in the future, that insurance policy. If you don't mind that, I think the option 3 is nice.
Okay. Well, I'll wait and see if I get priced out of it, but I might do it.
Well, you need to wait. You need to wait till like Friday, Saturday at least for that Cunha ban, right? So like you might be priced out of it, like you said.
Yeah, and then the decision's made for me. So yeah, it's over. But I'm glad you don't hate it, because
it's a good move actually. Yeah, it's a good move.
I like messing around with the defense probably more than the average bear. And that, my friend, brings us to the end. But yeah, the games are going to come thick and fast. I know we haven't discussed what we'll do over Christmas to try and get together, but the next game week is obviously this weekend, and then following that, I believe it's Boxing Day. So I don't know whether we'll get the chance to chat maybe on the 23rd or something. Well, depends where you're at and I'm at for Christmas.
Yeah, well, I think we can aim to do something there for sure.
Yeah,
even if
I should be able to.
Audio quality might be a little bit worse, but yeah, I think we can definitely do something. But yeah, another recording under an hour. I don't know how we used to do hour 20-minute ones, hour 30. What were we talking about?
Just become more accustomed, right? So we're just a bit more professional with it. Just to bring it in, keep it smooth.
I think it's probably the differentials, right? Just us having them prepped in advance this time rather than who's playing who.
Troll.
Yeah, we're kind of like buying each other some time with us chatting nonsense. But yeah, right? I think anything over an hour is too much, isn't it?
Yeah, good to bring it in, and it means that it uploads quicker from my side as well. So it's very much appreciated.
No, spot on. But yeah, interesting stuff there. I think the Bournemouth team attacking stats, I think that surprised me, like how good they've been, like based on the Lions, right? So yeah, like you must be feeling pretty good with Semenyo. Hey, you've got
but he's not been doing it, pal.
Yeah, they're lacking a talisman, aren't they? It's not like there's not like a single player who's just the best one. Sometimes it's Cliver, sometimes it's Evan Nilsson, sometimes it's Yeah, Semenyo, sometimes it's like Tavernier.
Yeah, it's mixed. He's
Kukes, like
well,
Kukes, like is kind of flying. He's looking. There's a lot of good attacking left backs from like lower teams like
yeah,
this year, right? You've got Hall, Kukes,
Robinson.
yeah, our man Robinson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's options. There's options there. But Wan-Bissaka, dare I say it, had a couple of returns of late.
Has he?
Yeah,
Hmm.
2 goals recently.
Oh, I missed that. Oh,
Yeah.
anyway,
I mean, I
I'll
wouldn't
face
go
to
there.
face. He's a right back, so we're talking about attacking
Ah,
left back.
true.
So,
That's a good point. Yeah,
oh,
wrong side.
got scope creep.
And Simicast looks as though obviously Robinson's injured. Simicast is coming back into the fray, and I dare say, as much as I love Robinson, I feel like he's made a few mistakes this season. Simicast could become a regular starter for Liverpool, and he's not too expensive.
What about Alexander Arnold then? Because like it has been noted that like Bradley's done well and he's kind of come in and like I think this weekend was a unique game given 10 men for most of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's notable that there's Robinson just battering down Liverpool's right side.
Yeah, I mean, even if Bradley's injured at the minute, but even if Bradley was fit,
Oh yeah, of
Trent
course, yeah.
starts. He starts.
So yeah,
Like
I
there's
think a few
no question
people
about it.
will be eyeing him up game week 18, the Leicester game onwards. They got a nice run and nice defensive fixtures then. But like it would come
Yeah.
at a sacrifice. Like some people will be moving from an Arsenal defender for that or downgrading elsewhere. So that'll be a decision for some people. It's like, is he worth multiple moves to bring in?
Yeah, because they've
Not
got
sure.
Leicester at home, Leicester, then West Ham, Man United, Forest, Brentford, Ipswich, Bournemouth, Wolves.
Yeah, really nice
Not
run
bad.
there.
Not bad. I might. He's only 4.6 million. I genuinely think Simicast is a potential option. Now, the interesting thing with Robertson, just to keep this in mind, is as much as he got a red card, he misses the cup game. He misses the Southampton League Cup game. He's available for the Premier League at the weekend. I don't know
That's
whether I agree with those rules, but I
no.
still feel like Simicast gets the nod. But anyway, we're going to go over an hour because I'm chatting crap about Liverpool. But yeah, Trent is an option if you can spare the money.
Yeah.
He'll start.
That's
He'll
another thing
start
for me to like not use my 2 or 3 transfers, so I can then look at. Well, I could if I went Cunha to Raul this week, then I could I think stretch the Trent Saliba to Trent the following week maybe. Which ain't bad. So yeah, few options to keep in mind.
Nice. I like it. I like it, pal. Flexibility. You're talking me out. You're talking me. You were nearly talking me into Robinson, and that point you've just made there might have talked me out of Robinson and saved the transfer and
I
did
think
people
we're talking
winning.
about different things here though, because like if you were bringing like you're talking about your third defender.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know transfers are like saving your transfers is saving your transfers, right? But like you're going to get him by selling Saliba, right?
Yeah. That's how I'd get there, but it's
Yeah, I can actually if I bring in Raul Jimenez this week, I can then afford Saliba to Alexander Arnold.
Trent.
So that rather than pissing about getting rid of Mbumo and those exotic moves, it probably makes a lot more sense to keep a nice team
Hold.
structure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. And
Yeah.
Trent could do you some damage, mate. He's yeah.
Well, mate,
He won't lose many minutes to Bradley. I promise you.
right. Sorry, I was killing that then. You've got 40 seconds now to keep it under an hour.
Well, I thank you for your time, Matt. Thank you, and I will catch up with you next week ahead of Christmas. But may your arrow be green. And thank you, the listener, as well, for joining us. If you have joined us, thank you for doing so. Please, obviously you have because you're hearing me talk. But hit the like, hit the subscribe. It does help us out. It's free to do, and it means other people can find us too. But whatever you do with your transfers, may your arrows be green, and we will pick up with you next